Hello, dear friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Mukesh English. This is Mukesh Soni. In this video, let's have a discussion of Kiran Bedi's famous speech titled I'm a Product of Opportunities, Visionary Leadership, delivered at TED Women 2010. Kiran Bedi was born on 9th June 1949. She is the Indian social activist, former tennis player. She is the first woman in India to join the officer ranks the Indian Police Service IPS in 1972. She was the 24th Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry from 28th May 2016 to 16 February 2021. In May 1993, Bedi was posted to the Delhi prisons as the Inspector General IG. She introduced several reforms at Tihar jail, which won her Ramon Magsaysay Award in 1994. In 2003, Kiran Bedi became the first Indian and the first woman to be appointed as the head of the United Nations Policy and Policy Advisor in the United Nations Department of Peace Operations. She resigned in 2007 to focus on social activism and writing. She runs the India Vision Foundation. During 2008 to 2011, she hosted a court show titled Aapki Kacheri. She was one of the key leaders of 2011 Indian anti-corruption movement. Her latest initiative, Mission Safer India, aims to ensure that police log and address citizen complaints. Her life is the subject of 2008 documentary Yes, Madam Sir, narrated by Helen Mirren. About the speech, Kiran Bedi managed one of India's toughest prisons and used a new focus on prevention and education to turn it into a center of learning and meditation. She shares her thoughts on crime and punishment from the stage at TED Women, Washington, D.C., USA, December 8, 2010. Kiran Bedi's family. It's an Indian story about an Indian woman and a journey. Kiran Bedi begins her speech saying that she is a product of this visionary father and mother. Many years ago, when she was born in the 50s and 60s, did not belong to girls in India. They belonged to boys. They belonged to boys who would join business and inherit business from parents, and girls would be dolled up to get married. Her family in a city and almost in the country was unique. There were four of them, not one, and fortunately, no boys. There were four girls and no boys, and her parents were part of a landed property family. Her father defied his own grandfather and almost to the point of disinheritance because he decided to educate all four of them. He sent them to one of the best schools in the city, gave them the best education. Kiran Bedi says, as I have said, when we are born, we don't choose our parents. And when we go to school, we don't choose our school. Children don't choose a school, they just get the school which parents choose for them. So, this is the foundation time which I got. Kiran Bedi grew up like this. So did her three other sisters. And her father used to say at the time, I'm going to spread all my four daughters in the four corners of the world. She didn't know if he really meant, but it happened. She's the only one who is left in India. One is a British, another is an American, and the third is a Canadian. So, four of them are in the four corners of the world. Philosophy inherited from her parents. Kiran Bedi followed her father and mother as role models. One thing they said, life is on an incline. You either go up or you come down. And the second thing, which has stayed with her, which became her philosophy of life, which made all the difference, is 100 things happen in your life, good or bad. Out of 100, 90 are your creation, they are good. They are your creation, enjoy it. If they are bad, they are your creation, learn from it. 10 are nature sent over which you can't do a thing, you have no control. It is like a death of a relative, or a cyclone, or a hurricane, or an earthquake. You can't do a thing about it. You have got to just respond to the situation. But that response, comes out of those 90 points. Since Kiran Bedi is a product of this philosophy of 90 by 10, and secondly, life on an incline. That's the way she grew up to be the valuing what she got. She is a product of opportunities, rare opportunities in the 50s and the 60s which girls didn't get. And she was conscious of the fact that what her parents were giving her was something unique, because all of her best school friends were getting married with a lot of dowry, and here she was with tennis racket and going to school and doing all kinds of extracurricular activities. She thought she must tell this to everyone. Speaking on her journey as a police officer, Kiran Bedi says that she joined the Indian Police Service as a tough woman. For her, the policing stood for power to correct, power to prevent, and power to detect. This is something like a new definition ever given in policing in India, the power to prevent, because normally it was always said power to detect, that's it, or power to punish. But Kiran Bedi decided no. She said policing is a power to prevent, because that's what she learned when she was growing up. How does she prevent the 10 and never make it more than 10? So this was how it came into her service, and it was different from the men. She didn't want to make it different from the men, but it was different because this was the way she was different. And she redefined policing concepts in India. Further speaking about her two journey, her policing journey and her prison journey, she says that if you see the title called PM's car held, this was the first time a Prime Minister of India was given a parking ticket. That's the first time in India, and that's the last time you are hearing about it. It will never happen in again. It will never happen again in India, because now it was once and forever. And the rule was, because she was sensitive, she was compassionate, she was very sensitive to injustice, and she was very pro justice. That's the reason, as a woman, Kiran Bedi joined the Indian Police Service. She had other options, but she didn't choose them. Speaking on Kiran Bedi's jail assignment, she was also known as "Here is a woman that is not going to listen." So she was sent to all indiscriminate postings which others would say no. She then went to a prison assignment as a police officer. Normally, police officers, they don't go to a prison. They don't do prison. They don't want to do the prison assignment. They sent her to prison to lock her up, and thinking now there will be no cars and no VIP will be given tickets to let her. Let's lock her up. Here she got a prison assignment. This was a prison assignment which was one big den of criminals, filled with criminals. Obviously, it was 10,000 men, and out of which 400 women, like 10,000 to 9,000 plus, about 600 men were there. So terrorists, rapists, burglars, gangsters, some of them she had sent to jail as a police officer outside when she was working as a police officer. Then how did she deal with them? The first day when she went in, she didn't know how to look at them. She said, "Do you pray?" When she looked at the group, she asked, "Do you pray?" They saw her as a young, short woman wearing a Pathan suit. She said again, "Do you pray?" They didn't say anything. Again, she asked, "Do you pray? Do you want to pray?" They said yes. Then she said, "All right, let's pray." She prayed for them, and things started to change. This is a visual of education inside the prison. This has never happened where everybody in the prison studies. She started this with community support. Government had no budget. It was one of the finest, largest volunteerism in any prison in the world. This was initiated in Delhi prison. One prisoner was teaching a class. These are hundreds of classes, 9 to 11. Every prisoner went into the education program, the same den in which they thought they would put her behind the bars and things would be forgotten. They converted this into an ashram, from prison to an ashram through education. She thinks that's the biggest change. It was the beginning of a change. Teachers were prisoners, teachers were volunteers, books came from donated school books, stationery was donated, everything was donated because there was no budget of education for the prison. Now, if she had not done that, it would have been a hellhole. That's the second landmark. She wanted to show some moments of history in a journey, which probably they would never ever get to see anywhere in the world. One, the numbers they will never get to see. Secondly, this concept. This was a meditation program inside the prison of over 1,000 prisoners. 1,000 prisoners set in meditation. This was one of the most courageous steps she took as a prison governor, and this is what transformed in the jail, and this was Kiran Bedi's jail assignment. Kiran Bedi took the same concept of mindfulness because why did she bring meditation into the Indian prison? Because crime is a product of a distorted mind. It was a distortion of mind which needed to be addressed to control, not by preaching, not by telling, not by reading, but by addressing your mind. She took the same concept of mindfulness to the police department because police equally were prisoners of their mind. They are just like the prisoners of their mind. They felt as if it was we and they, and that the people don't cooperate. So this concept really worked out. The another concept she brought here, the feedback concept, the petition box concept. This concept, which she introduced to listen to the complaints, listen to grievances. This petition box, this feedback box was just like a magic box. This was a sensitive box. This is how a prisoner drew how they felt about the prison. If they see somebody in the blue, yeah, this guy, he was a prisoner, he was a teacher, and they see everybody's busy. There was no time to waste. Kiran Bedi says that after her retirement, she is currently involved into the moments of education of the underserved children, which are in thousands. She's also involved in the anti-corruption movement in India. That's a big way. The small group of activists have drafted the Ombudsman Bill for the government of India. That's a movement at the moment she's driving, and that's a moment and ambition of her life. In this manner, Kiran Bedi thanked everyone. This is how Kiran Bedi opened the pages of her life in TED Women 2010 and has inspired all the people across the world, especially the youngsters. Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. You can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please do subscribe the channel, click on the like button for more videos on literature, workbook, pronunciation, grammar, communication skills, presentation skills, interview skills. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Thank you once again.